The Lifeguards of Southern California protect over 400 miles of coastline.
It's just really us versus nature.
And nothing impacts their day like the weather.
As lifeguards, the weather dictates the type of day that you're going to have.
Shark sighting, clear the water.
I need medics to ski beach dock and other units.
On these beaches, lifeguards are the first responders.
1, 2, I got 3. When you get this many people coming to the beach, things are going to happen.
Hey, you all right, buddy? You there?
They are there to save you.
He told me to grab the buoy. He was literally right there.
They are there to lifeguard. Newport Beach, often home to the biggest waves in Southern California. The surf may not be consistently large, but when the conditions are right, the waves here are legendary.
Ocean conditions at Newport Beach vary a lot, and that variation depends on the weather, especially the wind. Waves are generated by the wind blowing over the ocean surface. A storm is the same way as an atmospheric rock dropped in the ocean, and the waves move away from where they were created. And our waves come from storms that are relatively far away.
Earlier this week, a storm in the South Pacific began moving sets of waves towards Southern California. Today, they're making landfall in Newport Beach. For Lifeguard Supervisor George Leeper, that means today is going to be busy.
Vibe right now for this area, all the guards are probably on pins and needles. Anything could happen at any moment right now. The swell has been big all weekend, and all the lifeguards have to be on high alert because it makes the rip currents that much stronger.
Due to the Pacific swell, red flags and cones are used as educational markers to warn the public of dangerous conditions.
Most of the people that are trying to be in waist-deep water, it's because they're not that good of a swimmer, but it's not always up to you where waist-deep water is. It can change very quickly.
Lifeguard Zach Larkin was watching the pounding surf from Tower 61.
A pretty big set came through, and a rip current popped right here in front of the tower, slightly to the right, and there was 4 victims inside the rip current.
Lifeguard Larkin calls for backup and races into the ocean.
The issue was there was another set coming, so some pretty big waves, maybe 6-foot faces, and 2 of the victims were pretty young.
5341, 61 rescue outside with multiple victims. 10-4 en route for 52.
Larkin and the rescue boat arrive at the victims at the same time.
You guys all right?
Lifeguard George Leeper has also responded. His job is to back up Tower 61.
As we pulled up, the guard from 61 and 65 were both in the water. The boat was back down, helping out. I jumped out of the rig here to back up the rescue.
This rescue will be difficult. The waves are pounding both lifeguards and their victims. The boat has only seconds to get close enough to haul in any of the swimmers.
On a red flag day like today, nothing's going to be smooth.
All the way on the deck, all the way on the deck.
We get those big sets and the boat's out there. He needs to make it over those sets. He can't get caught inside or else we're going to have a serious problem.
You make it in?
3 victims are safely on board. Then, trouble. A giant set of waves forces the rescue boat away from the rip current, leaving lifeguards and a female victim in the impact zone.
So I said, grab on your board, hang on your board, and I said, I got you, just hang on real tight, don't let go.
Lifeguards Larkin and Marienthal have only seconds to pull in the 4th victim before another wave breaks.
Hey. Okay, you grab the handle. You grab my hand. Okay, get your foot on the step if you can. There you go.
I was the only guard left on the beach when I saw 3 more kids started getting pulled out in a rip too. 5375, I'm gonna be responding towards the left side of 61. Looks like 3 victims.
Both Leeper and the rescue boat react to the new danger.
And I saw one big wave just crush that kid, and his boogie board went flying up in the air. I pulled up, I took off my sunglasses, my shirt, put my fins on, I get my buoy, I start dolphining out.
Giant waves pound Leeper as he fights his way toward the struggling swimmers. The Sea Watch, still carrying the Tower 61 victims, is approaching quickly from the north. Every time Leeper thinks he's getting close, the rip current pulls the victims farther away. The boat arrives first. Lifeguard Rob Marienthal is quickly in the water.
I saw a little kid that looked like he was really flustered as we grabbed him by the boogie board, tell him to get on, and usually give him a good ride in.
Those kids probably would have drowned over there. That was a very heavy situation. There was about a 6-foot set breaking right on their heads, and they're getting pulled out in a rip. They had no fins on. They seem like decent swimmers, but I don't care if you're the Michael Phelps, you're not going to be able to swim against a rip current.
I kept getting pulled back and forth with my boogie board. I kept going under and up, under and up. That was like almost about to drown. It felt like the scariest thing in my life.
All told, 5 lifeguards pulled 7 victims from the flash rip currents. Today, everyone will go home safely. La Jolla, California, home of the legendary Scripps Institute of Oceanography. This famous marine research facility was established here because this area is home to some of the most diverse shore life in Southern California.
La Jolla is renowned for the beautiful scenery and the wildlife around here. We have a lot of sea lions and seals in the area. You can see dolphins playing in the water, and it's a great scuba diving location here.
But the main attraction for diving in these waters may come as a surprise. Sharks. Hundreds of them.
The most common species of nearshore shark in San Diego is probably the leopard shark.
Leopard sharks have a fierce name, but these sharks have very small teeth and are non-aggressive.
So leopard sharks are very unique. They are about a medium-sized shark, typically about 5 to 6 feet long, maximum length, and they have these beautiful saddles and spots all over their body, which is representative of their namesake. The most common place to see leopard sharks would be La Jolla shores, where they form an aggregation every spring, summer, and fall, and the number can be up to several hundred. We don't exactly know why they're here, but they all seem to be pregnant females. We don't see the juveniles and we don't see the males, so probably not mating. They're probably there because it's calm water and because there's a lot of food around, but they are completely harmless to people.
Today, low wind and cloudless skies have created excellent water visibility for snorkelers looking to get close to these sharks.
There was actually a school of sharks around me. I probably saw literally 30 sharks, enough that it made me a little bit uneasy. There was a lot more life in the water than I'm used to seeing. I mean, there's a lot more bat rays, there's a lot of guitar fish, and the ocean seemed to be teeming with life.
With all the snorkelers in the water, lifeguards try to keep the swimmers from drifting too far from shore. Veteran lifeguard Amanda Skarsky heads into the surf line to keep watch. But something is watching her.
I was paddling the rescue board north, and as I was outside the breakers, I saw about 13 to 14 foot, what looked like to be a great white shark. It was probably about 2 feet away from me and had a pointed nose, was gray in color, very large dorsal fin. This was not a leopard shark. This was not something that you want to mess around with.
There's been a report of a shark sighting in the area, and lifeguards are going to be clearing the water.
Exit the water, please. A shark has been sighted in the immediate area of La Jolla shores. A shark has been sighted.
The shark has been sighted in the immediate area. For your safety, we ask that you exit the water.
As swimmers scramble out of the water, Sergeant Mike Cranston deploys a helicopter to locate the shark.
This is Able 1. What's the location the shark was last seen?
Directly off the main lifeguard tower, directly outside the surf line, traveling in a southbound direction.
This year, a slew of shark sightings put lifeguards on high alert. 75 miles away, off Catalina Island, a white shark latches onto a teenager's paddleboard, biting it several times. Across the country in the cold waters off Rhode Island, a 1,600-pound white shark washes on shore.
I'm glad the summer is over. Don't think I'll go back in the water.
In Cape Cod, Massachusetts, beachgoers watch in terror as a white shark stalks kayaker Walter Zoltz before disappearing into deeper water.
Just figured this is it. This is it, or I'm gonna make it, I don't know.
But 21 miles to the north in Ballston Beach, Chris Myers is not as lucky.
A shark attacked, he's bleeding, he's wounded.
Tragedy struck when a white shark grabbed Myers in 6 feet of water. It was the first white shark attack in Cape Cod in over 75 years. Then, in Eureka, California, a shark pulls Scott Stevens from his surfboard. And in Santa Barbara County, another surfer is struck by a 16-foot white shark. The wound is fatal. In 2012, a total of 34 shark attacks are recorded in America. And La Jolla Lifeguards are racing to keep their beach off the list.
Everything north of the pier is in the advisory zone.
As the 14-foot shark prowls the water, lifeguards rush to evacuate 2 miles of surf line. They clear all beaches from La Jolla shores to Black's Beach.
Please dedicate a surf boat to patrol the shores area.
With several thousand people in the water, lifeguards call for extra support.
Jet 1 copies, en route to Black's Beach.
We are making warnings on all the kayaks that are currently in the water and pushing them southbound out of the closure.
Go into the beach, over there. As lifeguards right now, we're clearing everyone out of the water. We have our rescue boat, Rescue West, out, making sure if they happen to come across any scuba divers or stand-up paddlers that they need to exit the water. We want to prevent an attack from happening, so that would be the worst nightmare.
A quarter mile down the beach, witnesses spot a dark fin moving through the waves.
Oh, I just saw it, yep.
Per the report, there's been about 8 other witnesses from shore.
But as soon as the shark is spotted, it vanishes.
We've checked around the cove pretty good. No sign of a large shark, just dolphin.
Without a visual, it's presumed that the shark has returned to the deep. But Cranston is hesitant to let anyone back into the ocean. Erring on the side of caution, lifeguards decide to keep the beach closed for 24 hours.
We have policies and standard operating procedures that tell us what to do in this case, and then we can make the best determination of how to get that information out to the public. The media want to obviously cover the story, and it does help us get the information out. So people, if they were planning to come to the beach this evening, now a lot of people will know that this beach is closed, and if they wish to enjoy some ocean activities, they should go to another area. So it's a good relationship we have with them. They do get on scene fast. They do help us get the word out to the public.
There was a shark in the water and everybody had to get out.
But why was it so concerning to you?
My 7-year-old was out there.
And they are also looking for a good story. And when people are sitting down to eat their dinner and watching the news, a large shark sighting in La Jolla is definitely a good, juicy story for them.
In the history of San Diego, there have only been 3 fatal shark attacks. But none of those attacks occurred with a lifeguard on duty.
Very proud of how everyone acted, utilizing the PA systems from the trucks, the towers, the jet ski, the rescue boat. They're more than happy to maintain a presence out there for everyone's safety.
With 3.5 miles of uninterrupted coastline and over 11 million annual visitors, Huntington Beach is one of the largest and most populated in Southern California.
Today is just a gorgeous day. We just have like really light winds, which is kind of keeping the temperatures down a little bit. It's nice and cool.
With the weather cooling to 65 degrees and darkness approaching, a calm, clear evening is the perfect recipe for a beach bonfire. Families and friends flock to the 167 fire pits on Huntington Beach. But as Todd Bartlett, a 25-year veteran lifeguard, knows, a perfect evening at the beach can go wrong in just a few seconds.
We just got a call for help. It's going to be medical aid behind Tower 13.
10-4, I'll let you know, 10. I'll send over the cadets. They can assist you.
Lifeguard Griffin Camps was the first responder on scene.
This girl came up to me. She's like, I think my sister burned her hand back in the fire pits. Grabbed my first aid kit buoy, ran back to the fire pits. You could see full thickness burns all over her hands. So I wrapped her hand up, tried to keep it as moist as possible, and that's when Todd showed up.
It's gonna be a little girl. Here's Mom right here. Mom right here? Okay. What's her name? Actually, we'll go ahead and, I'm gonna go ahead and put a little dressing on top of it, okay? Okay. So what's happening is that she's the tips of her fingers. Yes, well, the air is touching the tip, and that's what's causing all of her pain. It was new instantly. It's what we call a full thickness burn, which means it went through her skin down into her nerves. It's a bad burn. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna put this one on instead. I want to cover up her whole hand, okay? Okay, it's hurting a little bit?
Underneath the sand was a layer of hot coals. She put her hand on there, and that completely burned her hand, burned all over it.
Did you have any more owies anywhere else on your hands or on your feet? No more owies? Was it just your hand? Anytime you get a burn, the clock's ticking, you need to get it to the burn center as soon as possible because every second goes by, that's more damage done to your hand and it could be irreversible. Okay.
Todd makes the decision to move the victim off the beach, where paramedics are waiting.
Hey, we're gonna go with Mommy inside the lifeguard truck, okay? Mom, we're gonna go in the front seat, okay, Mom? We'll come together. It's extremely hard to stay calm during situations, and I know for a fact that if I start freaking out, then the whole scene's gonna go downhill. So it's almost you have no choice but to stay calm and make sure that you give that little girl everything you got. It's okay, it's okay. I know. It's okay, okay?
Don't happen to me.
Yeah, we have a solid second, third degree burn to almost her whole right hand. Nothing on her elbows, her hips are all fine. It's just all in that one area.
Patient contact time at 1849.
On scene, the medics evaluate the victim's vital signs and decide to administer morphine to reduce the excruciating pain.
I was really fighting back tears almost that whole call before the medics got there and gave her the morphine because I knew that's the only thing that's really going to help her. Yeah, try to keep your arm down too. It's okay. Just keep by your chest. Yeah, there you go. Yeah. That wasn't a routine burn. That was a significant burn. Her road to recovery is going to be years. I guarantee she's going to have skin grafts. And the good news was that she was able to use all of her fingers and she was able to move her hand. So that's the good news. But the bad news is it's going to be a scar there for the rest of her life.
In Del Mar, the lifeguards stay on the cutting edge, always looking for the newest and best. This includes their facilities, their equipment, and even their staff.
Welcome back, you guys. This is the last day of a month-long rookie school. We're gonna do the 3-mile swim. If you guys get in trouble, you got the buoy.
For sisters Sandy and Andrea Taylor, this will be their final test. Those who complete this swim will become Del Mar's newest lifeguards. Those who do not will be dismissed.
I'm freaking out because we're going 3 miles and it's going to be a super long swim and it's going to be really cold, so I'm getting kind of panicked and nervous. I'm a little worried about sharks.
For the first time, a lifeguard, a rookie in training, getting dropped 3 miles out, it is a big deal, and once we get them completing that, then all the nerves settle and they're actually ready to sit tower.
The trainees plunge into the 58-degree water with nothing but a buoy. For the next 3 miles, it will be just them against the elements. For the Taylor girls, this is more than just a summer job. It's about living up to a family tradition. Their 2 older sisters, Natalie and Sarah, are also Del Mar lifeguards.
We went on a hike the other day and she brought this to talk. Stop it.
Andrea and Sandy, they really like the lifeguard stuff. And the older sisters want to hear about it. Do you have any rescues? What were they?
Andrea, where were you?
Headquarters.
Rookie Point.
That's what they call it, Rookie Point? What do you do?
Enjoy myself.
That's a good name, I like it. Really, it was a family affair. My sister was the first female lifeguard in Orange County. I think lifeguarding actually is sort of a shared experience. And as a lot of people tell you, our girls do spend a lot of time together. They're good friends.
Andrea is definitely like the crazy one. She's always been like that and she always will be.
We don't have any boys, so we call Andrea our boy. And Andrea is very engaging and very athletic.
Sandy's the youngest sister that kind of branched out a little bit. She went different directions and tried something new.
She plays soccer and she rides horses and she does very well in school. And she lets everyone know what's going on and what she does and what she doesn't want to do.
Natalie, she's definitely got that older sister personality.
How do I put this in my backpack?
Oh, I can show you.
Okay.
She takes things very seriously and will very often get her sisters to follow the rules.
Sarah is very much like her father. She's exceptionally bright, but she's the most sensitive, probably, of all the girls.
She's quiet at first, but she definitely has her little comments and is hilarious if you actually get to know her.
She was like, the food's great, I've never been there, but my friend's friend told me.
Actually, we all have different personalities, but we all mesh together well.
Meanwhile, as the open water race continues, the trainees are now less than a mile from shore. Sandy and Andrea stay close together, pushing each other onward.
Sandy was awesome to have with me. She was definitely a support.
An hour and a half into the swim, the new class of rookie guards take their first steps on the beach.
Feels great. A little dizzy, a little disoriented. Head is very cold.
Minutes later, both tailors arrive on shore.
The first part wasn't that bad. It was once you could see people on the beach. You're like, yeah, okay, I'm only like 20 minutes, and it felt so long. Definitely this moment means a lot to me. Finally completing, starting like an actual job and stuff like that. It's gonna be a lot of fun.
All right, guys, let's get close.
All right, 1, 2, 3.
There's definitely a tailor name at the lifeguard department, and I do want to live up to it, and hopefully I am.